Hi, this is a short explanation of a response to an essay question for G672 Sociology of the Family OCR exam. And so the question is, identify and explain two ways in which ethnicity affects family life in the contemporary UK. So there are a range of studies which can be found in the set text. Modood, young South Asian children, there's a shift where they less likely to speak the mother tongue, but it shows that there's a cultural difference in language in ethnic minority families compared to the white majority. Francis and Archer, family, life, Chinese parents value education, make sacrifices for their children to be successful. And so both of these points could be supported by functionalists who argue that socialisation and culture and family life plays an important part in how people perform roles and norms and values. We've got Berthoud and Beishon, South Asians, more likely to be married, less likely to be divorced and separated. African Caribbean families, more likely to be lone parent, divorced, separated. We've got women's employment, Dale et al. South Asian women more likely to work, less likely to work after marriage and having children. African Caribbean women more likely to work. So how do we structure all of this? Well, we could look at it in a couple of ways. One strategy would be to talk about values and organise that, cultural values, talk about child management, stricter behaviour management, less strict behaviour management, white middle class, working class compared to ethnic minority families. We could talk about economic as a second way, and then we could talk about economic behaviour in terms of work. Another way of doing it is to look at roles and structure. And so with roles and structure, with roles we could have the different roles of men and women, different ethnic community families. We could talk about functionalists, talk about the reason for these roles being different based on culture and socialisation. We could use black feminists to support what Dale et al. Says, Berthoud and Beishon say, to explain how matriarchal families may be more popular in African Caribbean family life, where black women often feel they get more support from families compared to the traditional feminist or the white middle class perspective on family life, which is critical of family life. And then secondly, structure. We could talk about different types of families, and you could then bring in the idea of the new right and the black underclass, concerned that black families present a threat to the moral fabric of society. We could talk about Dennis, the idea of absent role models, feckless fathers, mothers married to the state. You could bring in Murray and the underclass, benefit dependency, and kind of valuelessness and moral decline. And you could bring in postmodernists to say that alternative structures based on ethnic diversity may not be problematic, but could be positive and still just be alternatives rather than inferior types, and just have a different way of bringing up children which can be equally useful, a different way of economic support, socialisation and sexual relationships based on ethnic diversity, which can be equally useful or positive. So I've listed studies, I've given a structure or strategy for how to organise those studies.